Good morning. Welcome to the Carla and Anthony Show here on Twitch, or maybe you're watching later on YouTube because we finally got back to Seattle and we can now upload things. So there will be 3 episodes uploaded today.
I feel like we're so far back from the camera now.
Because we were so close in Miami?
Yeah.
Or Fort Lauderdale? So, Carla Marie, I want you to introduce everyone today to what we do here on Twitch.
Today?
Mainly because I need to look something up before we continue.
I think something's off with this camera. Oh, it is. I'm too...
It's a little higher. Let's lower it. How about that?
Thank you, Augie. I said, damn, you guys look so tired. I'd assume that means we don't look great.
No, we always look great. We also look tired and great. I think that's the difference.
Oh, it's because your arm is on that side?
So I got to shift over this way?
No, Julie, I'm not feeling any better. I actually kind of feel worse. Anyway, this is the Carla Marie and Anthony Show, where we talk about absolute nonsense, but also not nonsense sometimes. If you're new here, we are a former radio show. And by former, I mean like almost 2 years ago. We also have a podcast that is the morning show podcast that is more structured than this. I'd say this is a live interactive podcast where you get to see our faces.
So one of the things I've been doing, because a lot of people, especially people we know in like the podcasting, entertainment, radio industry, have asked, oh, well, if you're doing the podcast now, because we just launched that podcast about 3.5 weeks ago, are you still going to be doing Twitch? And what I always say is they are different products that our company offers, different audio products, audiovisual products that our company offers. The first, Twitch, is where we can hang out. This is like literally our family. We've got, however many 100 people show up here every day that we get to interact with, go through topics about, share our opinions, listen to your opinions. The podcast, however, is a short form morning show where there's less interaction. Obviously, we do play a game every single morning, but that is structured. It's information, it's entertainment, and it's delivered to you on a probably better schedule than our Twitch show is. But they're both very different podcasts. My Day Friday.
Oh boy.
We unfortunately, just with all of the craziness the past 2 weekends, have not been able to do My Day Friday. One of the issues we had, again, was just internet access last weekend in the Keys because the internet went out like everywhere.
Also time. Like, we were technically off of work.
Yeah.
For, I'd say Thursday, Friday, even yesterday, but we still did a show. We still did everything. So it got to a point where it's like, are we going to spend all of our time sitting in the basement of our Airbnb doing a podcast for hours, working on Friday show and even some of Monday show? Or are we actually going to spend time with our friends and the reason we came here and everything? So
My Day Friday is not dead or anything like that. It will be back this week, 100%. And that's where we'll probably, because we'll know what has happened with Rutgers already, because that'll be Wednesday night. We'll know if Rutgers beat Notre Dame or lost to Notre Dame in the play-in game. Then we'll be able to record a podcast either Thursday evening or Friday morning, depending on what my travel schedule is, which we will get to travel. We'll talk about travel in a couple minutes. I'm going to pull up this main screen that has our little notepad that we talk about everything on. It has everything on it that we talk about. I don't know. I don't know what words came out.
Shouldn't end a sentence with on, but it makes sense.
I've never subscribed to those rules. I don't really care about them.
I know, but you have to realize my entire high school and college education was learning AP style.
Yeah.
Whatever. Drilling it into my head because that was what I wanted to do, right? Like, if you're not going to read a journalistic piece where there's improper grammar.
Oh, man, I read so many articles that are written like they're...
Yeah, because you're not reading it from, you're reading it from an intern that works at that website that just tried to put something together for good SEO.
Here's a couple things we got to talk about today. We will talk about other things, obviously, that we just end up talking about. But hype train streak. Are we going to set up another hype train streak today? I know right now we are at level 3. We're 5% of the way into level 3. So we'll see if we can get that ball rolling again. The Alaska Airlines flight credit debacle and Alexis from Alaska Airlines. We're going to talk about both of those things. I also have another post from our friend at Couples Confessional.
Oh, nice.
because they posted something. This is a slightly older post, but I was going through my screenshots the other day and I found it. And it's something that I take offense to.
Okay.
Or at least take issue with, maybe not offense. What else do we have here? Oh, a guide to being a better boyfriend. This girl I know posted this on her Instagram story. And it was like from one of those like stupid Instagram accounts that's like, I don't know, whatever, like lifestyle influencer accounts. And of course, you can always check out the Morning Show podcast if you type in exclamation point and the word podcast.
And we have a special.
Oh, we do also have a special, a bonus announcement. I don't want to call it a special
announcement, yeah.
But it's a bonus thing. Thank you to
Dear God,
Heather
guys.
on Long Island for the 500 bits. Thank you to Jen and Lisa and Augie for the gifted subs. Thank you to JC Detail for the subscription with Prime, along with Hulgy, who subscribed with Prime. I'm trying to catch
Heather
up
on
on
Long
everything.
Island?
I did say Heather on Long Island for the bits. All of those things got us through level 3, and we'll see what happens with level 4 because we are 22, 33, 42. Oh, geez. I can't even catch up. Shauna from West Virginia just hit us with 5 gifted subs.
Oh, my God.
Let's see. So Carla Marie said because she is not feeling well, she is not going to take a shot. If we do get through Hype Train level 5.
Although maybe it'll help me finally barf.
That's not what we want on this show. And that's also not like the purpose to the Hype Train is supposed to be a feel good, like, hey, we're all in this together. This is our family.
It would help me feel good.
And we are halfway through Hype Train level 5. So why don't you, Carla Marie, talk about that thing you just had in your hand a second ago.
Okay.
While we continue this Hype Train and see if we can get the final 60%.
It's You Look Great chapstick. Not for sale. It's hard to tell here. Maybe I'll post the photo. But
yeah, you can't really tell
the green and like the pink are kind of metallic. And it's SPF 15 and it's going out. They are going out in current orders.
So if you order anything,
you get one chapstick,
that's
I
pretty
believe. Cool. So yeah.
So anything, I don't know if we have our link in there anymore. I think I may have taken it out.
What?
Well, because it was like an automatic thing that was going to rotate, and then when we put the show back on, youlookgreat.co.
Well, no, just put in the Big Cartel one for now.
What's that one?
Well, let's see if that link works. That Lisa.
Yeah, someone click that. Let me know if it works. Or let us know.
Ooh, Amanda Moe just ordered a beanie yesterday. If you don't get chapstick in your order, let us know. You should, but your lips look great. Thank you, Lenny. That's a good one. It's so cute, and I like the way it smells, tastes. It's
I actually haven't used it yet.
Natural aloe vera lip balm, safety seal.
Oh, it says safety seal on there?
Yeah, the top is.
Oh, okay. See, I haven't used that yet, mainly because I've been using my Seton Hall chapstick during Seton Hall season.
Why would you put that garbage on your body?
I paid a lot of money for that garbage, so they can basically do what they want now.
You can use either link, but sometimes the You Look Great co.one. Oh my God. YouLookGreat.co doesn't work. Okay, good. What flavor is it? I guess it would be like a vanilla.
If you're wondering why we are struggling a little bit today, and I actually feel pretty good. I'm not feeling sick like Carla Marie. We were on a plane yesterday for 7 straight hours. Our plane was delayed in Miami. We'll talk about everything. Not a lot, but a little bit. Then we had to circle around Seattle for a little bit. Didn't land on time. We spent 7 hours. We got on the plane at
a little before 6.
Yeah, around 5:30-ish.
We landed at 10.
In Fort Lauderdale. And we landed Seattle time after midnight, like 12:30.
No.
Oh, no, sorry, 10:30.
We landed at 10.
No, we didn't. We fully landed after 10.
Maybe we got off the plane.
Maybe.
No, we landed at 10 because I remember panicking about Qdoba being closed, looking up their time.
Right.
Robbie and Everett, damn, thank you.
Oh, did we go through? Did we pass it?
Yeah.
Cool.
Are you going to drink?
I am. I'm just fixing one thing
so technically we landed it was 1 a.m. in the time zone that we were used to. We got home, we did the podcast. By the time we went to bed, it would have been 4 a.m. Fort Lauderdale time.
Yep.
My body is broken. My insides feel swollen. That's the best way to describe it.
Okay.
I've also been on a bender for 3 weeks, and
You haven't been on a bender. You've gone out more than you usually go out.
Yeah, my body's not used to that. I drank more in 3 weeks than I did in all of 2021.
That makes sense. Yeah, thank you very much, Robbie and Everett. We did get through Hype Train Level 5, which means I'm going to run downstairs very quickly. And I will grab some sort of alcohol.
Okay.
I'm not even, you know what? I'm not even going to chill it. I'm just going to rip this shot and do the damn thing.
Oh, yeah, and we had daylight savings time.
I keep forgetting that happened, mainly because
it didn't happen to us.
because I think because we were traveling time zones and everything updates automatically now, I just completely forgot that happened.
Yeah.
I am excited for late sunsets here in Seattle.
I know, we get to see that, though. It's funny. I keep seeing memes that are like, why don't we do this on a Monday at 4 p.m.? And that would make sense, but then with different time zones. But yeah, why not like lose an hour on Monday? Although I know it's the whole thing. But wouldn't that be more fun? If on like Monday at 4 p.m. East Coast time, like 1 p.m. Pacific time, everyone was like, all right, lose an hour of Monday. Jill turns 40 this Sunday. Cool. Yeah, I truly feel like here down, I can't even touch there, is so like full and swollen. I'm scared. I have to go to the orthodontist today, and I'm scared of what's going to happen when I have to lay there with my mouth open and he has to poke around. Yeah, the whole daylight savings thing I hate. But it is nice having longer days, I guess. It just makes me think like nothing is real. If we can just change the clocks whenever we want, then let's skip tax day. We don't have to do our taxes this year. Yeah, I know. That's why I love Arizona. No daylight savings time. Yeah, I mean, as someone earlier, there were a bunch of you saying like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. That sucks." Like, to be fair, we chose to travel. We chose to not sleep. We chose to do all of these things. So.
Oh yeah, I'm not necessarily complaining about anything.
No, earlier I was that sucks. I'm so sorry. Like all that. Like,
yeah.
I mean, this is the life we chose. This is the product of our decisions.
All right, this is as much as I like Tito's vodka in my mixed drinks and whatnot. This is going to be a struggle for me. You want to smell it?
No. Yeah, I was just telling everyone I like went to here. And I was like, it feels like everything in my body is up to here. And then I touched my neck and almost gagged. And then also I realized I have to go to the orthodontist today and lay there with my mouth open. Mm-hmm. And I already have a pretty bad gag reflex. And they're going to poke around in there.
All right. Well, the hype train is officially over. I know we got to at least 150% of hype train level 5, which means today does start another streak of our hype train support, system here.
Maybe Thursday I'll take a shot of turmeric.
Cheers. Oh, hold on. Not going to cheers the whole place without the brand.
I can't. Today I'm sticking with water.
Cheers, everybody. Thank you very much for the support. We very, very much appreciate it. Woo.
Oh, Jamie Marie, thank you.
Gonna wash that one down with some water.
I keep having dreams about cats. I think it's because Erica just, whenever I come home from a trip, I don't know why and I also didn't sleep because of this. Her and John decide to like bump my face the whole night, lick my eyebrows, fall on me for literally the whole night. I just kept getting bumped.
You know who doesn't like getting bumped? Me.
Oh, it's absurd what they do to me.
All right. Back to life, back to reality. Here's our show. This is what it's gonna be. Talk about Alaska Airlines and Couples Confessional. And then there's a screenshot from Couples Confessional.
Good job, Tones.
All right. The Alaska Airlines flight credit. So this is what happened yesterday. We talked about how we were on a 7-hour flight, basically. It was a 6-hour and 30-minute flight, I think, from takeoff to touchdown.
6:45 is what they said on the plane.
And right as we are about to leave, plane is fully packed. They're struggling to get bags on top. Yep. They make an announcement. They need 4 people to get off the plane for whatever reason. They didn't fill those seats. So I don't know if it was a weight thing.
They started, like, and that's the thing. The guy was like, something, wait. And I'm like, what is happening?
Yeah. So, and one of the things they were saying when everyone was boarding the plane was, we cannot check any bags due to weight distribution on this plane. Yeah. If your bag doesn't fit, like, you're kind of screwed. So make sure you find a spot for it. So right as we're about thinking we're going to take off, the flight attendant comes on the PA. We need 4 people to deboard the plane. And
he says, you'll take a later flight, but doesn't really inform anyone at first when it is. And you'll get a credit, he said at first, right? For $850, which is an insane.
$850. Now, the first thing I thought.
And no one moved, by the way. No one did anything at first.
I think people were shocked by the amount of money.
Yeah.
But again, this is a cross-country trip, so a lot of people probably paid $500 to $600 for it. I know our price was $360-ish or something like that.
I don't remember because we used points and credits and everything.
But $850. And the first thing I thought was, oh my God, I'm booking my trip to San Diego for the NCAA tournament, and I can book my trip to Erica Shea's birthday in Las Vegas.
Which we weren't actually invited to.
No, we were invited to. And I talked to her about it this past weekend. But flights right now are insane. So both of those things might be out of the question. It's funny
that you had time to think of all of that.
I did. Those were the first 2 things I thought of.
Because this happened so fast. Anthony looks at me and I'm like, I just want to go home. Like, come on. First of all, I feel like shit. So there was that. I was like, I just want to go home. I miss the cats. And I have to then talk to my cat sitter. If we get off this plane, I then have to cancel my orthodontist appointment. Like, there were just things that were
so you thought about things too.
Started running through my head. And he's like, come on, we've never done it before. Do you want to do it? And I was like, and by the time that happened, people volunteered.
You said, I'm going home.
I don't remember saying that.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Or actually, and here's the one thing we'll debate. You said, we're going home.
I don't know. I think I said, I'm going home. I don't remember saying either of the things. So they say, okay, 4 people, blah, 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 whatever. And they're gone. And then Anthony's like, man, we could have did it. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, $850. I'm like, okay, I said
$850 is a lot of money between the 2 of us.
Completely agree with you.
And
I'm not saying it's not a lot of money. I would love it.
The flight attendant also said, you don't even have to use it yourself. It's good for a year, and if you can't use it, you can gift it to somebody else. So we were going to get collectively $1,700 in flight credits.
So then they come back on, and they're like, actually, we need 2 more people. And I go, okay, fine. And I hit the thing, but first of all, I hit the light.
Yeah, she turned on the light.
The middle seat doesn't have a dinger. And as I hit it, though, another lady hit it, and she was a solo person. And someone else. And
then we got screwed. We got screwed out of $1,700 collectively.
I said, yes, just too late. Again, though. Yes, I wish I had the money, but at the end of the day, I feel like absolute garbage. I didn't want to sit in a hotel airport for another, who knows, 24 hours. They claimed the flight was tonight, but I don't believe it.
I would have been absolutely fine with the hotel that the hotel that the airport suggested for us. And I think normally they just they tell you to like bill them or like expense it to them.
Yeah, but it's a certain amount.
Yeah. And I would have gotten a decent hotel and just said, okay.
You could have.
I could not have. Mainly because, she did not try.
I did. I said,
at the
fine.
very, very end.
Fine.
At the very, very end.
You could have been like, I'm taller. I'll hit it first. It's your fault. I'm too short.
Let's see. And then, Angela said it's a good thing you came home since you don't feel good, Carla Marie. I actually think it's the opposite. I think if you went back to the hotel and just rested.
No,
right?
I was not going to get any better.
Why not?
I was eating food. I need to come home. I need to eat chicken soup. They don't sell that in Miami. I need chicken soup. I need water. I need my own bed. I need to sleep. I need my own shower. The first thing I did was shower. My whole body was itching.
I'm sure the whole Broward County area didn't have one bowl of chicken soup for Carla Marie's soul. Not one. And they don't have showers in hotels either. Actually, the shower in our hotel was pretty awesome.
It was nice, but we weren't going to go back there.
No.
And truly, they gave you 30 seconds to make that decision. And you could tell everyone was kind of talking to one another. Everyone was like, It was Amazing Race.
I think you would have actually done better, Carla Marie, had you gone back to a
Okay, but
hotel
guess
and
what?
just went to sleep.
You can say that all you want. I could also say we could have died on the plane today.
Or we could have died on and that's what I kept thinking
I know.
of.
When we hit really bad turbulence, I was like, I'm so sorry. We're going to die.
So we did hit pretty bad turbulence at one point, and I kept thinking, well, now I've got to check on whatever this flight we were going to be put on, which I believe it was going to end up being the same exact flight, but today.
That's what makes sense.
Right.
Well, at first he said something about the morning, and I was like, I literally said the words, well, then we can't do the show.
And I love you all. I love you all. I appreciate the support. I appreciate the fact that you guys come here and join this little community every single morning. But if someone said we're going to give you an $850 credit, but you have to fly during your Twitch show tomorrow, I think you all would have understood why we were not doing the show. We would have addressed it.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have even needed a hype train, right? Because we would have made so much more with the flight credits that the hype train would have been inconsequential.
Yep. Yeah, I think everyone would have understood.
Yeah, see? Thank you, Angela. Hey, Mr. Miami Cool, can you confirm that there is chicken soup somewhere
Coconut Love said their soup.
in your area? Oh, Coconut Love did? Thank you very much, Coconut Love. Yeah, see, everyone would have supported it, I believe. Or at least forgiven us at some point.
Nah, sellouts.
What if we did it from the plane? We do have Wi-Fi now on planes, right? We could have just been like, let's stream and do our whole show here.
Becky said if we would have stayed, she would have made me chicken soup.
Oh, there you go. You could have had chicken soup delivered to your teenage soul.
It would have been 800,000 bits.
Exactly. So
in hindsight, I was like, man, I do wish that I said, screw it, let's do it. Like, I wanted to have that spontaneity, but I was in my seat buckled just thinking, like, I just want to go home. And in that moment, I didn't have, like, the time to process, like, what actually was happening.
Yeah.
It was too quick. I mean, we did have the option. They did, like, alert everyone the day before and was like, $350. But what about all those people that signed up for that?
Some people probably took it, but just not enough.
Now I know. Never.
And those people also...
wait.
Well, no. So the reason those people... What was it, $350 you said? How much credit would you have gotten?
$350.
So the reason those people make $350 and then they later were offering $850, the people who took that credit earlier in the day didn't have to go through TSA. Nope. They didn't have to do all of those things.
You're wrong. It literally says you will not be confirmed until you are at your gate. The gate agent will tell you.
Okay.
So you do have to go through all of the process.
Okay, well, that's stupid then.
I know.
But it's also, I mean, if you hold out, just like contracts sometimes it works in your favor. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes the company says, okay, we'll give you more money. Sometimes the company says, GTFO.
Which would have happened. They would have said, GTFO, get on your flight. But you can negotiate with them from time to time.
Let's see. There is a tip. I think you can ask $1,075. Is that $1,075?
Like credit.
I'm confused. Scotty, I'm not 100% sure what you're saying in the chat.
I am going to regret it when I try to book a flight home and it's $1,500 like it is this weekend.
If you had $850,
I would not still be going on that trip.
You're saying it would have gotten you a little closer. You could have flown to maybe, I don't know,
Mississippi,
Chicago, and then driven. Who knows?
Literally, a United flight this weekend to New Jersey and back is $1,500.
Well, it's a last-minute cross-country flight.
Alaska wasn't that much, though. It doesn't make any sense.
I'm trying to think of the most I've paid for a flight. And it's
$800 to New Jersey for Thanksgiving.
Did we both pay that? Okay, so that's how much. That was the most expensive I've paid. Now, moving on from that, which before we move on, I should say this, Carla, since you prohibited us from taking a spontaneous...
I never said, Anthony, you can't come.
The attitude is what the vibes that you were putting out were not those of, enjoy, make whatever decision you'd like to make. The vibes you were putting out were absolutely not. I am not feeling good, so no one could have fun.
No, I'm sorry, sir, but you have made it very clear on this show and in our relationship that you are your own person and you make your own decisions.
I do.
And you did not have to listen to some dumb girlfriend telling you what to do.
Now, keep in mind, I did not call you dumb. You called yourself dumb, which is dumb in essence, or smart in essence. But Yes, I make my own decisions. Yes, I am my own man. Yes, I do what I want, but I also make all of those decisions empathetically.
Aw, that's so cute. If you would have gotten off...
I don't make those... I do make decisions. I try not to make them 100% selfishly.
We would have been in the aisle. You would have been handing me microphones.
Which would have been fine. No, because I actually... Now that I think about it, there's two parts and then a request, okay? And then we're going to move on from this. First part, we 100% could have done the show even if I took all of the equipment because we do have backup equipment here. Mm-hmm. I would have just walked you through everything. Secondly, what was my second point? Oh, I actually think in terms of you feeling better, Carla Marie, mm-hmm. taking the flight today would have been much better. Now, hear me out.
You said this before.
No, hear me out. Not only would you have rested a little more yesterday, we would have stayed in Miami or stayed in the Fort Lauderdale area, mm-hmm. done the show this morning mm-hmm. from Fort Lauderdale. Mm-hmm. Okay, with no driving, nothing like that, no trying to visit anybody or anything, right? No other obligations. Then we would have taken the flight yesterday evening.
Tonight, you mean?
Or tonight, yeah, this evening.
Okay.
And you wouldn't have had to wake up to do this show tomorrow. Therefore, you actually would have had a lot.
Now,
do you understand what I'm saying, though?
Yes, okay. But what I'm also telling you is that if you tried to explain that to me in that time, that we would have already been taking off.
But that's the thing. You just have to trust me sometimes and say, yeah, let's do it.
Thank you, Angela. He is trying to make me feel bad, and he was trying to make me feel bad after
And you should. And you should.
I wish I can cry on cue and make you look like a jerk.
No, and you did feel bad.
Admit they do cover your hotel. I did feel bad yesterday, but not today. You're a jerk, and I don't feel
Why
good.
am I a jerk? I'm just explaining the reason.
Where's that good boyfriend manual? When do we get to that?
Oh, we'll pull that up. We will pull that up. The third thing I want to say is since we had to cap our spontaneity at your request yesterday.
Also, I'd like to point something out. You tweeted about this before they even came back on the plane to ask about the second time.
Yes. Oh, I was livid.
You know who's going to be even more mad? When the garbage people come to get the garbage today and you didn't put out the garbage.
We weren't here for a week. We don't really have garbage. Anyway, since you put a cap on our spontaneity and our fun and our revenue generating opportunities yesterday, I think the next time there is a spontaneous event,
fine,
you have to follow my suit, follow my lead.
As long as it doesn't interfere with a real life thing.
Like what? What's a real life thing that it would interfere with?
An important meeting or a family event or something.
Are they important? How important is a meeting? When it can just be done the next day.
Sure.
There we go.
Again, let's all remember, I said, okay, fine. And then that lady got it.
Yeah.
And the lady next to us was like, oh man, who are they going to give me if you guys leave? Like who am I going to be stuck with? Little did she know they literally replaced no one. She would have had a whole exit row to herself. I
will say the lady that did ding right before Carla Marie did, she was the 5th person to ding her bell when they asked for 4.
Oh, okay.
So she would have gone either way.
Okay.
Do you understand? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we're moving on from that. Done. I need to get a graphic, over here to cross things off the list so people can keep up with what we're doing.
The Apple Pencil.
I'm sure there's a way to do that. Next on the list, Couples Confessional. This is an account run by one of our very good friends. I think she keeps it a secret, so I'm not going to say exactly who it is. Let me move this over just a little bit.
We have a hat from her. We got to wear that.
Okay. So, this, I realized I saved in my screenshots a while ago to talk about it. And it came up yesterday as I was clearing out my phone, ready to switch phones to a new one. Oh. That's your video opening your gift. Bless you?
I'm so sick.
Was that was a sneeze? Or were you doing karate? What was that?
I tried to keep my body upright because it'll hurt my back if I go too hard.
That was something, I'll tell you that.
Oh, can someone ban this person? Listen, dude, I do not have time for you. If you were in front of me, I would kick you right in the nuts.
They would like that though because it's your feet. Yeah.
What's that?
All right, hold on. Let me fix this because I need to find that stupid video now.
None you biz said you two on Twitter yesterday was funny. Yeah, but what happened was someone responds was like, "Oh, but where would you go next?" from Alaska Airlines, and it was Alexis.
Oh, that's right. We didn't talk about Alexis.
Who was the same girl who actually we were going back and forth with when Ricky missed her flight, who helped Ricky get on a flight and was actually like having. We were like, "Oh, are you in Seattle? You should come to Seattle Cocktail District." And I said, "Yeah, you know what every party needs." And then I sent a little bit Alexis meme from Schitt's Creek, and apparently she loved it. So she must have been like, "These guys again."
Let's see. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, harassing or bullying. We're blocking that.
No, is there a sexual thing there somewhere? No? Okay.
It's only sexual if you think feet are sexual.
I can't do this right now. There's a whole thing where you can like tell Twitch to block someone permanently. And I have to like type a bunch of things out. Anyway, and for those of you watching on YouTube that can't see the chat, there was just someone who's annoying and slightly inappropriate. Anyway, let's go back to this screen now that we are done with all of the flight stuff and Alexis. Here we go. So, couples confessional. This is what they posted, okay? And I'm going to explain why I think this is worthy of a debate in a little bit. The person who confessed to the Instagram account said, "I can't get into another relationship again, only for it to end in 6 months somehow. I want my next boyfriend to be my husband. I can't afford to waste time." I'm going to read that again because I'm stupid and I didn't do it right the first time. "I can't get into another relationship again, only for it to end in 6 months somehow. I want my next boyfriend to be my husband. I can't afford to waste time." Mm-hmm. There is, in my mind, and you're allowed to argue me, we can maybe even open up the phone lines in a little bit. There is so much wrong with that statement.
Mm-hmm. I get feeling like that, though. I get the sentiment of, I don't want to be in another relationship. I don't want to, give it your all for it to just end. I get feeling that, but actually doing it is another story.
And yet no one likes to have their time wasted, okay? I totally understand that. No one likes to have their time wasted, and we are in a world where with the instant communication with strangers, a lot of people are going to waste your time on apps or not be on your speed when you meet them on an app or something like that.
Yeah.
But there's 2 points. One, and Lisa said this in the chat, that is a lot of pressure to put on a complete stranger who you don't have that relationship with
who you
yet,
never even met.
Right? You're already going into this relationship saying the next person I meet and have feelings for and has feelings for me, that's my final person.
Yes.
And that's not fair not only to that person, but that's not fair to yourself.
Well, Claire and Olympia says, I get it, but people get into a relationship thinking it's going to end in 6 months. You never know what's going to happen.
Yes. And there's a couple points. So the first part of this was, I can't get into another relationship again, only for it to end 6 months somehow. Unfortunately, and this is going to sound weird, that's not up to you.
And maybe you need to look inside. Maybe you're the problem.
I mean, you also have that. But you can't go into a relationship knowing when and how you want it to end because that's out of our control. It's just one of those things where you might want it to end, they might not want it to, someone's going to be the bad guy. You can't go into it with those types of expectations.
Imagine the next person you go on a date with knows you said that.
I wouldn't go on a date with that person. And that's what I say. It's unfair to yourself because you're setting yourself up to view this next relationship through kind of a broken lens, right? You're not viewing the relationship for what it is in that moment because you're putting so much pressure on what it should be down the road. And that's not fair to yourself. That's not fair to the person that ideally in this situation you would be dating.
But I do understand the frustration. I do understand.
Absolutely.
Especially when it's like, it's not like you dated for a month, right? It's almost like you want it to be longer or shorter than 6 months. Because 6 months is half a year. That is 2 seasons in some cases. That is holidays spent together.
Or no seasons if you're in Florida.
Or no seasons. So 6 months is a long period of time where you're finally like, oh, this makes sense. And then for it to end. Now, I don't know if this person has only had 6-month relationships their whole life. Like, there is no context here. But I understand the feeling, but truly putting that thought out there and being like, this is how I want it to be.
And I think there are things you can look for in a person, right? There are traits, there are hobbies, there are lifestyle choices that you can look for in a person. I think that's totally normal because you're looking for someone who vibes for the most part with the way you like to live your life.
Right.
I don't think you can go into a relationship and say this has to be my final relationship because chances are it won't be, and you're only hurting yourself down the road.
You didn't say that when we started dating?
What?
This has to be my final relationship?
I did not. I did not. But I would also, so here's why I didn't say that, and I wouldn't say that, is I think that puts an unnecessary burden on the relationship.
Yeah.
I also think it keeps you from enjoying the relationship in the moment.
I agree.
If you are continually looking for that relationship to be something bigger and something that it is not, you're only damaging the relationship in the moment.
I completely agree with you on that. But what about when you marry someone?
I think that you, in that moment, you make the choice to say, okay, this is our relationship. We're going in this together. But I think just like everything, especially in today's day and age where there are, so many avenues that you can go down in life, you might have to just understand that even in marriage, people can grow apart. Even in marriage, things can happen. Even in marriage, you might both just come to an agreement one day and say, you know what? This isn't it anymore. And we will both probably be happier moving in different directions. Now, that's not always easy, and I'm making it sound a lot more businessy than a relationship really is.
Right.
But when you remove some of the emotion, when you can look at it from a different angle, that's really what it comes down to.
Alicia from the 215, when you're an adult, it takes time to figure out if someone can fit into your life.
Yeah.
You can have a ton of things in common, but transitioning from the dating / getting to know each other phase to a serious committed relationship doesn't always work.
Yeah. Fred the Mailman has a great message in here. It says, relationships are only a waste of time if you didn't learn from them. If you have learned, then you should be content you'll pick a better match. The person doesn't sound like they'll ever learn or they ever...
Confident.
What?
You won't be content you'll pick a better match. You'll be confident. You should be confident.
Oh, yeah, I missed that word entirely. Either way, you get the point. I can't read on these screens. And I agree with that. And I will say this. If this relationship ended, Carla Marie,
yes,
I think this relationship helped me learn how to fully be a supportive partner. I think this relationship helped me learn how to argue and resolve conflict in a slightly healthier way than I used to.
Slightly.
I'm not perfect. Neither are you.
I sure am.
Oh, yeah. You remember that $1,700 we left on Alaska Airlines? Sounds perfect to me. No, but again, I think, like Fred said, if you can learn and be better for it, it's not a total waste. Now, we are saying this removed from the pain of a breakup.
And a divorce.
Or a divorce. Now, the person who wrote this to Couples Confessional may have just gone through something that she thought was going to be a forever relationship, and the guy or the girl or whoever, I don't know why I assumed this was a woman, but either way.
True.
Oh, no. Well, I could have assumed it's a guy too because it said boyfriend. Either way, that person may have just gotten through exactly 6 months of heartbreak.
I would love to get these people on the show.
The Couples Confessional people? We can work with the person who runs that account and see if she can message people.
Because I clearly have so many questions. I don't want to give her great advice.
What advice would you give her?
It depends how old she is. If she's in her 20s, I'm going to be like...
This is a great question, actually.
Bitch,
hold on. This is a great question. I want everyone in the chat right now. There's 197 viewers according to my screen here. Probably a little more. How old do you think this man or woman is? Actually, I'll one-up you, actually. In the chat, write in the age and the gender of the person you think this is.
It's a female.
Why do you say that?
Because even if you are a gay male, you're not saying that.
Why not?
Just not.
No, I'd love to see. Okay, so we have 32 female in the chat, 30s female.
Part of me, I would say early 30s because that's kind of, I think, the point when people get frustrated. But I also feel like 28-year-old women can be very...
I agree. I agree with that 100%. I think late 20s, I think this person is between 28 and 32.
I agree completely.
And I'm not trying to vilify anyone in that age range or make them feel bad. I want to say one thing. I just think that there's so much that changes in your life, especially as a woman, in the way that you are viewed at that age, that you sometimes, and correct me if I'm wrong, don't look at things for what they actually are. You look at things in this scope of your time is running out.
Yes.
This lens of like, oh, because the world thinks I should be this type of way, I need to view things that way as well.
Completely. Sorry. No, completely agree. And Renee just said I was dramatic about it in my 20s. And that's what was making me think it was like a 28-year-old female who was like, this is it. My whole life is over. Because you start to panic because you're about to turn 30 and you don't have the life that all your friends had. But once you hit 30, I feel like a lot of times you're like, oh.
Yeah, you just give up.
It's just... Sure. I'm going to guess this is 28. We're going to find out. Can we find that part out?
I can message her.
I need to blow my nose. It's sliding out.
That's great. It's sliding. It's sliding out. I just caught that. There's a phenomenon that Carla Marie and I were discussing yesterday. It looks like God is speaking to us through this one little part, that little glare that's coming in. There's a phenomenon that Carla Marie and I were talking about yesterday. When you're having a full discussion with someone and the conversation is going back and forth, do you ever have those moments where someone says something, but it doesn't actually register for like 32 seconds or something like that? And then all of a sudden you're like, wait, did you just say that weird thing that I thought you said? That's what just happened with Carla Marie's snot sliding out of her nose. Yeah, so it's interesting in the chat. Everyone has said that they think this is a woman. Hey, can you close the door? Are you waiting for a cat? You have two cats. Two cats now.
Oh, by the way, this morning I saw both Caroline and Max groom John.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Maybe he was very dirty.
Then we'll never groom this one.
This is the evil one. The evil monster named Erica.
I'm convinced she opened the bathroom door while we were gone. Oh, Mergen.
I just saw that. That is, and I love this comment. A, because it's vulnerable, and that's what we kind of like to do here at different times, is really talk about things that might be on your mind, things that, you can open up about. And Mergen said, being a twin and having your sister get it right, in quotes, with the first guy engaged at 25, married at 27, did a number on me for a second.
I bet.
And I can only imagine the comparisons that you either put on yourself or people put on you when you are a twin. Like, that's kind of crazy. And that's something I'll never know. Your nieces will.
But which is crazy also is that if just two stranger 25-year-old females, right? Mm-hmm. No one would ever really think to compare them, but just because they're sisters or twins males, either way, we do. But yeah, I mean, my nieces live completely different lives now.
Yeah. Let's see. So this was from Lisa in the chat a second ago. She said, and we were talking about how everyone thinks that the person who wrote this is female. She said, I think the line, I can't afford to waste time, means that a female is worried about having children. I get that. And that is not to say, I don't want to make guys who feel like they're on a timeline feel like they're not heard or seen at all. It's different, obviously.
Did you have guy friends that were like, oh, I just want to get married, I just want to fall in love?
I had guy friends who would say things like, I need to, I want to be in a relationship, or, I don't want to be an old, a lot of it is I don't want to be an old dad. And I know it's different than women saying, because you might just lose that ability as a woman, unfortunately, right? That's just the way biology works. It's different for guys because you'll always have the opportunity, for the most part, to have kids. But a lot of guys didn't want to be the old dad because they wanted to have like the energy and the athleticism to keep up with hopefully their sons. A lot of them will say to like play sports and do things like that as well as their daughters. But
I know sometimes I think about that. I'm like, if I have kids now, I'm going to be my parents. My mom, at least.
Yeah. Scotty said you don't need a man to have kids. Let's build this person up. That's true. You don't need a man to have kids. I do know women that have gotten pregnant on purpose without someone who they thought was going to be in their life, because that's what they wanted to do at that point in their life.
Like through a surrogate?
Both.
Or just got knocked up?
I know
Smart. And
two who just said, hey, I trust this person. I like this person.
But what if that person wants to be in the baby's life?
It was an agreement beforehand. I was actually just talking to a friend of mine who I'm not going to say it here, because a lot of people don't know that's how that all happened with him. But he had a very good friend who, they were flirty together. And she said, listen, this is what I want to do. Are you down? And he said, yeah. That's it. B-Delps,
yeah. I feel you, Sam. I'm going to be an old mom eventually, and it makes me tired thinking of it. There are days where I'm like, I see like my friend, my whole Instagram now is just people my age complaining about how tired they are because of their kids. And I'm at a point in my life where I'm like, I just realized I don't have to be tired because of a job, blah, blah, blah. This is great. And they're all like, I don't sleep. Truly, I'm losing my mind. And I'm like, I don't want that.
Yeah. But it's also, I'm sure that at times they'll tell you how great of a gift it was as well, and how happy they are, and all the good things. Can you read this message here a little closer to the screen from Alicia in the 215?
Is it that, or you just can't read?
Both. It's far away, and I'm terrible at reading.
Alicia said, I had some guy friends that felt pressure when they turned 30 to get married and quote unquote settle down. Many of my guy friends got married to whoever they were dating. Some of them are happy and some of them are really unhappy because they put pressure on themselves to build a family and didn't make sure it was with the right person.
So I will say this. There is a pressure. There is a social pressure, not as much as it is for women.
Yeah.
Okay. I think when it comes to age, we as a society are worse to women than we are to men. It's just the way I see it. And the way a lot of people see it, I believe. But that is not to say that society is kind to men either who age outside of what they think the norms are. So take a look at someone like Scary from Elvis's show.
Right.
How many times do people tell Scary, oh, you're, at your age, you should be settled down, or you should be married, or blah, blah, blah.
Anything.
Or you can't be going to clubs or whatever. And it's like, dude, who are we to tell anyone how to enjoy the limited time that we have on this earth?
If it makes you happy and it's not harming anyone else,
yeah,
what is the problem?
And like I said, yes, society does treat women worse than men, but we are not nice necessarily to either.
No.
We're not nice to anyone as a society.
And I do feel like in a lot of cases, people who have kids will kind of shame people who don't have kids.
100%.
And be like, but don't you want to have kids? And I'm like, no, you literally, and I do that, and I say this to my siblings all the time. It's so weird. I was just thinking about this yesterday, and I'm so glad I have a platform to say it out loud. My nieces were born when I was 8 years old, right? And then my brother didn't have my other niece and nephew until I was like 15. Mm-hmm. But I went from 8 years old to 20-something years old, hearing my brother, sister, and their significant others say to me every holiday, don't have kids, don't get married, don't have kids. They torture you. Now, whether they were joking or not, it was always after someone did something bad or whatever. And I was 8 years old.
Yeah.
I'm like, I had my brain developing years constantly being told to not get married and not have kids. Fast forward now.
Your brain developing years. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, thank you. My brother will be like, are you worried that you're not going to be able to have kids? I'm like, no, you told me not to. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, you literally will tell me that they ruined your life, but like jokingly. And I'm like, you told me not to have kids. You told me not to get married. And he'll make jokes about like, oh, you're a single cat lady, because it's my brother and he's allowed to do that. Don't hate on him. And I'm just like, no, you told me not to. My sister's the one that was like, you have plenty of time. Like, don't worry about it. You have plenty of time if you want to do it.
Your older sister said that?
Yeah. And she's like, you're fine. I mean, our mom had Ashley in her late 30s, which isn't like, that's not science. That's not how that works. But I'm like, you literally told me never to do this, never do this. You hated it, blah, blah, whatever. And now I'm here like taking your advice and you're like, well, I want your life to be miserable too.
There is something. Oh, oddly enough, it was something I was reading that Nicki Minaj said the other day. And she was talking about how like when she was an up-and-coming rapper, she got like basically an illegal butt job because it was cheap and she was able to do it. And a lot of it was she talked about how all the guys that she was around in the studio would either be rapping about girls with big butts or having girls with big butts around them. And it just kind of like permeated into her brain, and she felt like she needed that. And I feel like we as a society, and we're all guilty of it, every single person is guilty of just saying things without thinking of how they're going to impact the people who are absorbing it around us. And that is one of the things, is how many times you hear, oh, is it, or oftentimes what happens with me is someone I know has a crying baby or an annoying baby or annoying kid or a problem with the kid, and they'll say, oh, isn't this great birth control? You'll never want to have kids now. And it's like, well, I mean, maybe.
Sorry, I keep trying to avoid another karate moment.
That was the weirdest sneeze and I've heard you sneeze a lot. That was a weird one.
Fred the mailman said, my mom kept bothering me about giving her grandkids. I told her, I travel and drink. There's a good chance you have more grandkids out there somewhere.
Do you think you have any mystery family members?
Is that to Fred or to all of us?
To you, to everyone, to Fred?
Oh, we always make jokes that my dad had another family because he would go on his boat every weekend.
I think there's someone in my family who may have had like a mystery kids one time. I can't say who it is because my whole family listens to this, but I think I got a possible uncle or a cousin who has kids that I don't know about.
23andMe that bish.
Why? That won't help me.
Yes, it will, because if that person did 23andMe, you'll find them as a random family member.
I do want to switch over. What?
I was reading. Lee said, my husband and I are kid-free by choice. People ask and we say no, and the response is usually either, oh, you'll change your mind, or, oh my God, I'm so jealous. I've gotten the you'll change your mind a lot directed to me more specifically, and it drives me bonkers.
Have you gotten that, Carla Marie?
Yeah, but I've at this point, I'm very clear of like, I don't know. So it's not, there is no mind to change. I just don't know.
Okay.
Or it's like, oh, you'll make your decision or whatever it is. But I used to get it, you'll change your mind all the time, because I was very adamant in my, like, I'd say from 24 through 30 of like, no, not having kids. Which then I guess to me saying I don't know now, maybe they were right. But
you can change your mind on anything.
And that's the thing. Oh, you'll change your mind.
No one says that when you get married, right? Yeah. No one says, don't worry, you can change your mind. But you can.
I'm going to start doing that.
But you can. I have a friend who worked in radio. She was one of my first bosses, and I don't think she was necessarily having cold feet the day of her marriage, but she was, like a lot of people, looking down the barrel of her life, going like, oh, wow, I'm making this choice at 30-ish for the rest of her life. And she started to freak out a little bit, and it was her mom, she told me, that came up to her and said, listen, this isn't the most romantic thing I'm going to say to you on your wedding, or that you're going to hear on your wedding day, but a marriage, like almost anything else, is a legal contract, and you can always get yourself out of a legal contract. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it takes heartbreak, sometimes it takes lawyers
and money,
but at the end of the day, it's a contract.
Yep.
It is weird that we don't, like, the thing is that we allow people to think you can change your mind on, and things that we don't, when in reality you can change your mind on almost anything. Stupid face tattoo, though, you're going to have that for a long time, so don't do that. Don't do that.
Radio Fam and Eats and Tweets, both very similar comments, and saying that nobody tells you if you're trying to get pregnant or if you are pregnant, don't worry, you'll change your mind.
Yeah, that's true. Well, you bring that thing into the world. Once it's there, it's very hard to change your mind.
I'd rather get married right now than a kid. You're stuck with them forever. No offense to anyone who's pregnant about it right now.
Let's see. Zeal Crux, is that what that says? Yeah. Said, can you repeat that, Anthony? I think I found my best man speech. Yeah, you don't want to use that at your wedding. Hey, guys, in case this doesn't work out, just end the contract. Let's see. Scotty Whipson, that is why I am not ever getting married.
I think in the next generation of life, maybe it is with Gen Z, there will be some sort of marriage, right? Because we all want the wedding. Now, and I say we all, meaning like, generally, people want the wedding, right? You see it on Instagram, you see it on social media. You want that. Same thing with the butt, going back to that. But I think there will be some sort of change that Gen Z does, and maybe they have weddings and they don't actually get married. I don't know.
They have ceremonies. Now, Scotty said something. So Scotty, and this is not outing him by any means, Scotty is a gay man, lives in Pennsylvania.
Oh, no.
Met him out here. He says, and that is why I am not ever getting married. And I wonder tell me if I'm wrong, Scotty, because this is something that I've thought about before. There are a lot of gay people who I know who will say things like, I don't really care if I ever get married. And is part of that because for a long time growing up, that option wasn't there. So I think it may have driven people in two ways. You either, because you couldn't, wanted it even more, because that's something that happens with all humans.
True.
Or because you couldn't, it was never even really a thought. So you never gave it any attention. And I don't know if that's a real thing. Obviously, I am not a gay man, so I can't speak to it. But it's just a theory that I've had about that for a long time, because it's a sentiment that I feel like I've heard a lot in the gay community, or from my friends who are in the gay community.
It makes sense.
My fiance's parents have been together for 40 years and not married.
I
have a cousin who is who's had a baby, lived together with his wife or his partner for a long, long time, but just not married. They have all the other things. Everything about a married couple they do and they are, just without a piece of paper from the government that acknowledges their relationship.
I think taxes make it better to get married.
There's a couple things.
And then, like, what if I'm dying and they don't let you see me?
That's the other part.
But you can't. But they let my mom see me?
Yes.
Well, can I write that down somewhere?
I don't know. 20 years this year and not married, says J Cross 33.
You know what? I don't even need a wedding. Like, I would just be like, I want a ring, bitch.
I mean, it's cheaper than the wedding usually. Power of attorney. You can give someone power of attorney or a living will. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So
it's 9 a.m. It's past my bedtime.
That's right. This is more of a list that we're going to go through. It will be on the screen in a second. I know it's hard to read. There's a lot of information on a small screen. I'm only putting it on there in case you're watching on like a big laptop monitor or computer monitor or maybe even a TV. But I will go through the whole thing, so don't like strain your eyeballs trying to read this.
Just a quick ending to that conversation I think is perfect.
Yes.
Deborah said, I was always on the fence about having kids, but then I had my first child at 34 and my second at 35, and I am still on the fence.
I'm sure there are days that you regret it. Oh, man. All right. So this goes to my next thing. This was a list that a friend of mine, and I use that term loosely, someone that I know posted on their Instagram story. And apparently it's accredited to Forces of Nature is the Instagram account or influencer or whoever that posted this.
This is how to be a better boyfriend.
It looks like a list of ways to be a better, specifically male mate, I believe. Male partner.
Isn't that what Fred is?
He's a male man. Could be a male mate. Now, first thing on the list, it says, never forget her birthday. Make a really big deal out of it. Okay. That's fair. I understand that one. What?
You didn't do that this year.
This year, I mean, there was enough planned around your birthday where I couldn't really do a lot. This year was a tough year for me as a...
You keep telling me I'm getting a present.
You are. You are. Well, I will explain, when the present gets here, I will explain what the hiccups were to everybody.
You also keep telling me you're going to post on Instagram.
Yeah, I haven't posted to Instagram in a long time. I'll do that. I'll do it today. You happy now?
And International Women's Day.
I've done that enough.
All right, so one, fail.
Okay, that's fine. Now, here's where it gets weird. Not this one, actually. The next thing on the list, it says, after sex, hold her for a little while, talk to her like a human being.
Okay, well,
that makes sense.
Not talking to you like a human being.
That makes sense. The third thing on the list says, do not wear your socks to bed because you might not be all that attractive to begin with. Which I'm assuming this account or this person thinks that wearing socks to bed makes you ugly, or at least uglier. And if you're not attractive to begin with, the socks aren't going to help.
That's stupid.
It's a weird personal preference
so far,
thing.
I only like the birthday one.
Okay. Let's see. Here's an interesting one, and I think we're going to get different opinions on here. Always, 2 times, side with her in an argument with your mother. Now, here's what I don't agree with. In any situation, family, relationship, business, I do not ever subscribe to the idea of siding with someone in an argument specifically because of their relationship with you.
Correct.
I can't do it.
Well, unless we were in public and a stranger was fighting with you.
Depends on what it is. I'm not willing to ever say I am always going to take this person's side.
Wait.
Because I think that makes you taking their side illegitimate.
Vanessa with one S said, yes, that's how I knew my husband wanted to be with me. Which one of these?
Yeah.
The socks?
Socks, probably.
Zeal Crux said, the socks is a weird hill to die on.
Exactly. That's a weird hill to die on. That's the perfect way to put that. Because I guarantee you, if the most attractive person you've ever had a thing for rolled into bed with socks on, you would 100% accept it.
Okay, Vanessa said, no, picking me over his mom. So, in what context, though? Like, this basically says, in every argument.
Exactly. And that's why I don't agree with it. Because
that's not good for your relationship with your mom.
And I don't think that's good for anybody to say, I am always going to take your side. I think I can always support you is a very different sentiment than I am always going to take your side, because I can tell you that I think you're wrong.
That's what Lenny just said.
While still supporting you.
Yeah, Lenny said, I'll defend her, but not necessarily side with her.
Yes. And I don't know, luckily I've never been in that situation where I've had to pick between, something that my mom said or did with someone that I was involved with, but I just don't know if I agree with that sentiment in any capacity. Right? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Like, if I had to side with you over my dad, you'd probably be the one that was right, though.
I don't know. I guarantee you there's a time that I'd be wrong. And I don't want someone who only agrees with me because of their relationship with me. I want someone who agrees with me on principle of what that thing that we're discussing is. And if you disagree with me, that's also fine. Now, is there a respectful way to disagree?
Yeah.
Is there a supportive way to disagree? Is there a middle ground? Absolutely. So I don't agree with two of the things so far on this list. The socks and the always side with her in an argument with your mother.
I feel like my ex did not always side with me. And it's not that I argued with his mom. She just had a lot of rules.
Like what?
She panicked about a lot. Like, you got to do this at a certain time or be at the airport at a certain, like, I don't even know. It's so long ago.
Okay.
But I'd be like, no, I'm not. Like, I don't want to get at the airport at a certain time. And he'd be like, no, we have to get at the airport at a certain time because she said so. Or because that's what he wants to do. And now I'm arguing with both him and his mom on their life decisions to be neurotic.
Yeah. All right. So Vanessa gave us a follow-up on what she said was like the thing for her. She realized her husband was the person for her because there was a disagreement with the mother. She
said, so when we weren't living together, she complained about me visiting and not holding my part. But then,
I'm trying to phrase it for you there.
Sir. But then he stood up to her in my honor and said that I do this, that, and this. So even though it wasn't to her standard, it was to our standard. And if we were okay with it, then she shouldn't have a say.
And I totally agree with that. And I think the way that he defended it made sense. He was able to address what his mom expected and said, that's just not what I need or expect from this person. Mm-hmm. This is what this person provides for me. And we're good. So he defended her in that way. And that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
But it's not like Vanessa did something so unbelievably weird or dumb that he had to just tell his mom she was wrong, right? Like, that's what this is asking. This is saying always side with her in an argument with your mother. No. I just can't do that. And I say that because also, I can't do that for anybody.
Right. And that also gives that person that you're with too much power, I think.
Yeah.
In that case, it's like, oh, I can be an evil whatever, and he's always going to side with me over his own mom.
And I also think, to piggyback on that, it means your agreement with them means nothing.
And you also shouldn't always side with your mom against your significant other.
Of course. And that's really what I'm getting to is, I think if you choose based on someone's relationship to you to always agree with them, your opinion now is invalid. Right or wrong, it's invalid because you are not thinking critically about each statement, right? And that goes, like I've said, to relationships, to romantic relationships, business relationships, family relationships, even political relationships. Just because your political party that you subscribe to or a religious group that you subscribe to says something doesn't mean you always have to agree with them if you have facts and opinions that say otherwise.
Yes. Meg says, my thing is more defend me to your mother because my mother-in-law loves to say snide comments about me under her breath. Meg, let me come to the next family function.
Let's see. Gosh, my mother-in-law is literally the best person, says Tacoma Swifty. So kind, never fights. My husband wouldn't ever have to side with her or me because we don't have problems, and she's a teacher / principal, so super understanding. And I do think we fall into this cliche of like, oh, the mother-in-law is here. And it's like, they're probably an okay person. But all right, moving on from the always on to the next part. We've done 4 now of this list of how to be a better boyfriend. Listen to her like you mean it. Supportiveness is a really, really sexy turn on. Yep. Totally understand.
Goes both ways.
Totally understand. I think the one thing that you're always going to find in a good partner is they actually do listen to you. They might not listen to you all the time because you might be talking about random things about your cats or just speaking out loud for no reason. But when it's important, they are listening to you.
It's not true.
I'm not saying that from personal experience. I'm just saying that I've heard that happens from time to time. Let's see. Never, ever hit. Yeah, that's...
Okay.
No matter what.
That's
simple.
The law.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't always.
No.
And it's also often not defended enough. Let's see. No matter... Oh, this is something I do not agree with at all. No matter what annoying habits she has, realize she's dealing with a huge mountain of imperfections every day, so you might just want to let it go. What? That is such a loaded...
Wait, what?
Idiotically loaded statement. Which you can't say about a lot of things, but this is an idiotically loaded way to end the list.
Read it.
I'm going to read it slowly.
Oh.
No matter what... Let me start again. No matter what annoying habits she has, realize she's dealing with a huge mountain of imperfections every day, so you might want to just let it go.
Dealing with my own imperfections or like yours? So like because I leave my dirty dish, say, on the sink.
Yeah. Like, listen,
I leave that alone because I'm dealing with the fact that I'm bloated today.
Yeah. No, that is such an idiotically loaded statement if we are defining it correctly.
But if it's dealing with your imperfections, that makes sense.
Oh, like I'm shitty enough that I should let...
You don't get on me about leaving a dish on the sink because guess what? You leave all the lights on.
I don't think that's what that statement was.
I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense. This person's an idiot. Do I know them?
But here's the... you do know them. You do know them. And you're not going to be surprised when I tell you who that person is. She's very kind, very sweet. But I will say, person living by that list, still single. So good luck finding that guy.
Oh, boy.
And not that there's anything wrong with being single, regardless of who you are, how old you are. Find the right person for you. You know what? If that's your list, and that's a list like someone said earlier, if that's a list you're willing to die for, find that person on that list.
You missed this from Jessica from Minnesota.
Okay.
She said, my mother-in-law is a helicopter mom. I'm sure she would breastfeed my husband if she still could.
But that list, so I just want to break this down one more time because of how ridiculous it is, and then we're going to end it. I'll start with the top. Never forget her birthday. Make a really big deal of it. Check that. I think we can all agree for the most part.
We can agree, but are we checking it as done?
I think in theory, we can agree that that's a good thing. Okay?
But not checklist done.
Yeah, I agree in theory that this is a good idea.
But on the to-do list.
We're going to get to the annoying habits later on. Okay. Next on the list, after sex, hold her for a little while, talk to her like a human being.
Fred said he likes to talk to her like a dinosaur.
Next one, this is where the list gets a little stupid. Do not wear your socks to bed because you might not be all that attractive to begin with.
But maybe your feet are ugly.
Yeah, that's why I wear socks all the time. I hate my feet. Next, again, one I don't agree with. Always side with her in an argument with your mother. Just don't agree with siding with anyone because of their relationship to you or your relationship with them. Listen to her.
The doorbell rang. It might be my package.
Okay, go check.
Whitey, move. Whitey.
Listen to her like you mean it. Supportiveness is really, really sexy. Next, never hit her. Got that one. And the last one, no matter what annoying habits she has, realize she's dealing with a huge mountain of imperfections every day, so you might just want to let it go. Here's why I don't agree with that one. And I'll end it there. I don't know if Carla Marie's coming back. She left the door open, so we have that there. Here's why I don't agree with that. Is we're all dealing with imperfections. All of us. Every single person has, most likely, body image issues, career issues, just a mountain of things that we are all insecure about. We all have imperfections. We all struggle with those imperfections, even though they're totally normal. Society has told us to judge ourselves based on them. Now, Carla Marie's back. What'd you get?
My new iPhone.
New iPhone? Oh, I do want to talk about the phones before we go.
I kept getting...
You good?
Missing it because we're in here.
Okay. So what I was saying, Carla Marie, is the reason I don't agree with that last thing about the imperfections and dealing with her annoying habits is we all have imperfections. We all have insecurities. We all have things that we wish were different, things that we're dealing with mentally, ways to justify our own being and existence, which is stupid. That doesn't mean we get to be annoying a-holes wherever we go. Imagine every person that did something stupid around you. You just had to go, oh, well, they've got some imperfections they're dealing with.
But I do that sometimes. I'm like, maybe they're having a bad day.
Yes, that's different. But if you continually are someone who does annoying things around your house and you just choose not to change them, it's not your imperfections that are stopping you from doing that. It's you're an asshole. That's what's stopping you from doing that.
Yeah, but I also think that can be taken in that they're saying, I'm dealing with your imperfections.
And even if that's the way that this is meant to be interpreted, then here's what you both should be doing in that relationship. You should both be saying, hey, that thing you're doing is annoying. Stop it.
I tell you that, and you continue to do it.
And you keep putting things on the sink next to the sink, I should say, or not putting your dishes away. Guess we need to be better at that.
Yeah,
Guess we
yours
take
are
our
way
own advice.
worse.
Anyway, so we'll go through that. I'm going to take that list off of the screen now and go back to our main list of what we have talked about today. The last thing on there, obviously, is if you have not listened to the Morning Show podcast yet, today's edition of it, Tuesday, what's today, March 15th? Check that out. Type in exclamation point. I struggle with that word. And the word podcast in the chat, and you'll get it.
I was laughing at DJ Synth's comment.
Oh, like kitten teeth on the sink. Yeah, that was the bathroom sink. I'm talking, she likes to leave all of her things, valuable or not, right next to the kitchen sink, which scientifically, statistically, is the dirtiest place in your home.
No.
Yeah, it is. It's been studied.
We have a litter box.
That might be the dirtiest place. But it's actually, your kitchen sink is dirtier usually than your bathroom. Because you think like raw food goes there.
How can we swab it?
What do you mean, how can we?
Like to test it.
I don't know. Get it. I'm sure Amazon sells a kit. Some weird kit.
Let me get a black light.
Go for it. I don't know what you're going to find there, but go for it. Coconut Love, by the way, how's your toe, Carla Marie, from hitting the chair in the hotel twice?
Toe? It was about 8 toes. This is why I have broken every toe in my life.
Maybe if you wore socks more.
Yeah, because I don't know what happens when I walk. I must do something like this, and my
like duck feet.
My toes get caught in everything.
Let's see. Texas Chris, this is fantastic. Carla Marie, put your stuff away, and Anthony, turn off the lights. Boom, problem solved.
And Anthony, don't sleep on the couch after you go to the gym and don't shower.
I don't now. Or I'll change and then I'll do that.
Just take a shower.
Here's what you have to realize,
You're
Carla Marie.
You're going to get germs.
Most of my day in this home is spent at this desk.
No.
Changing things, editing things.
No, because you watch the story of Hitler, and the Viking King, the other thing about kings.
Oh, I will say this. Carla Marie, this is one of my favorite things. I'm sure everyone in a relationship has dealt with this at some point.
We're not done.
No, we're done because we have to transition to this. Here's what it is. I watched the original Vikings, which started on History Channel, then ended up on, I believe, Amazon
I watched
Prime
the
or whatever.
first episode with you.
And no, the original Vikings.
I watched the first episode with you.
And Carla Marie made fun of me forever. She's like, oh, you watch that stupid Viking show, blah, blah, blah. And one day, recently, I put on the new Viking show, which is a Netflix original, Netflix Valhalla. It takes place...
Netflix Valhalla?
Yeah. I'm sorry, Vikings Valhalla. It takes place 100 years after the last Vikings series ended. And she was in the room when I put it on, and I went to go watch a second episode, and she was ready to go to sleep. She's like, no, don't watch the second episode without me. I like this show. I said, okay. So then I watched another super nerdy thing that I thought Carla Marie would leave me alone about. and it's called The Last Tsar. It's a Netflix special as well, or Netflix docuseries as well. And it's a weird docuseries because it's like got historians that are talking, but also like straight up
acting.
And they cut between the two. Both pretty good. Started watching that one. Carla Marie was in the room for the first episode, and now I can't watch an episode without her for that one either. So Carla Marie has now hijacked my nerdy TV shows.
I know. I've been waiting for you to watch Inventing Anna. I'm going to watch it without you.
And please watch it without me. Because now I got Umbrella Academy is on the way.
Because the guy's hot.
The people that they put in the Viking shows are very good looking.
Very hot. All of them.
Yeah.
So anyway, Lisa said there's a new docuseries coming to Netflix about national parks, and Obama is the host. It should have been me, but I guess he's okay.
Listen, I have nothing against Barack Obama. I just don't know if he's the best host for that. He does have a soothing voice. I will give him that.
Yeah.
Regardless of how you feel about Barack Obama politically, guy's actually got a pretty great, like, Morgan Freeman-esque reading voice.
Yes.
Like, if two people were to narrate the movie of my life, choice A, Morgan Freeman. I'd let him narrate anything. Will Smith, also a great choice.
Mine
great
would be
voice.
Anna Kendrick.
Anna Kendrick? Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because that's the vibe I'm going for. It's not chill.
Okay. Let's see. I can't watch any Marvel now with my wife.
Oh, we also have to watch Peacemaker.
Peacemaker's a good one. I didn't think you were going to like Peacemaker because it's really messed up.
It's out of control. I can't handle it, but I love it.
Let's see.
Read Chris's comment.
Chris said, Anthony, just be grateful that your beautiful girlfriend will watch history nerd shows with you.
Not if he doesn't shower, though.
Then I'll just stop showering. Last thing we're going to talk about. So we are, and we're going to post about this later. We are working with T-Mobile. Both of us had Verizon accounts on our personal lines. If you remember when we were on the radio, we also did T-Mobile endorsements.
Yeah, we had work phones.
And they gave us a work number. Mm-hmm. We are working with T-Mobile now. They're actually taking our Verizon numbers, putting it on their service, and we get service for free and a free phone every year, which is phenomenal. Here's the one issue that I'm having. I haven't updated my phone in 3 years. I've got the Pixel 3. Okay. This is the size of my Pixel 3 with a case. This is my new Pixel 6 Pro without a case. And all the phones now are basically this big.
All the phones.
All the phones now are basically this big.
Dad.
What?
All the phones these days are so big.
And then I was talking to my brothers because I was like, I'm concerned that the size of these new phones,
guys,
is going to be a problem for me. Yeah, it's the same size basically as the what is it? What is yours?
iPhone. This is the 12 Max Pro.
Okay. So I was telling my brothers, I'm concerned that I'm not going to be a fan of the size of this phone. And then I was like, but I did enjoy having when Samsung originally came out with the Samsung Note. I was like, I did like that phone, and I'm sure that this is kind of similar. Do you remember when the Note came out? Do you remember that phone?
Is a little pen?
That had the pen, and it was like a phablet, right? That's what they called it. Because it was a much larger phone than normal phones at that time. I looked it up. This is an inch larger. All the phones that are coming out now are almost an inch larger than that original Samsung
people are
Note.
working off of them. I love it. I see people with tiny iPhones, and I'm like, I don't know how you do it.
Do you have your new iPhone that you're getting? So Carla Marie was able to get the new iPhone. I was able to get the Pixel Pro 6 Pro. Let's compare sizes real quick. Like we're teenage boys in a locker room.
Knew it.
No, I never did that. I'm sure someone did. Probably the private school kids. They were always super weird.
This is a very cool moment.
There is something I was talking to someone about a week ago when this phone originally came in, because I haven't set it up yet because we've been traveling. There is like a weird, cool feeling when you open up new tech, especially when you're someone like me who does not update it very often. Huh? Like
someone
me.
like who?
Like me.
You did not say the word me.
What did I say?
You said moo.
Someone like me who does not update it very often. Listen, I'm on 4 hours of sleep. Leave me alone. Oh, that's cool. It gives you a little like, hold on, no, show people.
They know.
It gives you a little like.
Anthony, most of the people have iPhones.
Oh, yeah.
Like instructions.
Yeah. Okay, so this is which one?
Yours looks taller. 13 Max Pro.
13 Max Pro. They're about the same exact size. Mine might be like a millimeter or two taller, but mine's also thinner. I do like the build of the iPhone. I like the case of it, I should say, like the metal and whatnot. So these are the two new phones. Yeah, a reflection of what we're looking at right now.
I'm used to the size of it. I've had it for a while.
Yeah, I'm not used to it.
You'll get used to it because then you're going to be like, it's so hard to go back to a small phone.
And then I was worried that I'd get a case and put it on and it would be even bigger, but I got like the thinnest case possible and they were on sale on Amazon. So pick that up over the weekend. And now I'm going to set this up today and I'll have my new phone.
And we'll be able to take normal photos.
Yeah. The Pixel phone usually has one of the best cameras on the market. Also, I've got that option now with my Pixel 6 Pro to erase things from the background of pictures. If you walk behind me, bam, you're gone. I love it.
Okay. Everyone's so excited for you.
Team Android. I do like that in this family, this, community that we've built here, we do have some Android lovers.
I don't like that.
I'm a big fan of that.
I really wish you went iPhone because then all of my group chats would be gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous group chats, and I can name them and put a little photo.
You know whose problem that is? Not mine, because I don't see it. Anthony needs a Pixel endorsement. I'm close. I'm very close. We got T-Mobile on board. So maybe one day.
I know. I got to go figure out my parents because I left them in the dust.
Oh, on Verizon?
So I got to go log on and make them get an old people account now.
Let's see. I have Google's discount phone, and I love it. A 4S. Oh, yeah. The A line is usually, they'll release like the 4, the 5, the 6, and then they'll release an A, which I believe is the S for iPhones, right? Isn't the S like the cheaper model?
SE.
SE is
but
the cheaper. So similar
thing. Same thing.
They're all very, very similar. Like I went with the Pixel Pro. I'll be totally honest, mainly because
you didn't have to buy it.
I didn't have to buy it. If I was buying the phone on my own, which I was about to do before this partnership came through,
which is crazy,
I would have probably just gone with the Pixel 6. They're both, when you look up the statistics or whatever on them, the specifications, other than a couple different camera features that are probably unnecessary, they're identical phones. And then even now when you start comparing it to what iPhones do, all of this is very, very similar.
I agree that what your phone does, there's probably cooler things. However, the Apple experience, right, of I have my watch, I have my phone, I have my iPad, I have my computer, everything is intertwined, everything is linked.
Yeah.
To me, it's worth maybe this phone is better than the iPhone. So much more worth it to me.
And that's fine. And here's what I will say. And it may be because if you want to grab that book, Carla Marie, Cultish, it might be because I'm reading this book, Cultish, now, which it just talks about the language that cults use and they talk about how a cult could be anything from your Soul Cycle class to, the Jonestown cult or the Heaven's Gate cult. Everything from the extremes to everything in between. And phones are a cult, right? Like you have a different language, you have different experiences. They make you feel better. They try to isolate you from the other experience. And I'm just like, you know what? At the end of the day, all these phones do almost the exact same thing. And just like you use iPhone for everything or Apple for everything, I use the Google Suite for almost everything. So things are easy for me that way. Too. It's fine. Whatever phone you want to use, use it. As long as you're here.
As long as it's an iPhone.
As long as you're here and you use that phone to be with us.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want. That's the only thing I care about.
We got put in a group chat of 18 people this weekend because someone was sending photos. And everyone was like, I don't know what's happening. My messages are green. I might not have service. And I was like.
Did you want to read my text? Because I think this was a proud moment for me. This is a text from the wedding that we were at. A bunch of radio people that we're very good friends with. We're trying to share photos and videos with one another. And as I saw these videos rolling in, I said, this is going to be a problem.
So they started doing the thing where they come in super tiny. When you have an Android in the chat, you can't send videos, apparently. And then someone said...
Oh, yeah, because the Wi-Fi on the island wasn't
These all
great.
came in weird and blurry for me. Dumb Wi-Fi. Can't wait to see all the footage. And Anthony said, guys, it's my fault. Before Carla Marie throws me under the bus for using an Android phone, you may want to have a group without me to send the videos. # Android for life. And I said, it's Android Anthony ruining everything. Kick him out.
But see, here's the thing. I said, you guys go have your fun.
And their minds were blown that you had an Android.
Yeah. well, then they don't watch this show or listen to anything that we do because they would never be surprised that I had an Android. That's it.
Oh, you know what?
Android Anthony.
We should have gotten
Yes.
Danielle and Sheldon on the show today to talk about being married 19 years.
Cool.
To go a part of your list.
Oh, to see if they agree with all of that? I'll find another list and we can talk to them about it. I'll find some list about, like, I don't know, ways to keep your marriage successful.
Okay.
You good, Carla Marie?
Yep.
We have done this show for an hour and a half today. Thank you very much for hanging out with us the whole time.
Aren't you so glad we're back in Seattle, everybody?
Back in the saddle?
No, opposed to being in Fort Lauderdale another day?
I'm not.
It wasn't
Mainly
even going to be nice weather.
I am 850 airline credits shorter. No, shorter, poorer than I would have been.
You didn't have it.
Anyway, 1,700 total. Thank you, Becky from Miami, for twisting that knife.
You wasn't getting my credits.
I could have.
No, you would not have.
If you needed credits, I would give you mine.
All right, then give them to me.
I've got $40 in credits right now.
I'll take them.
Anyway, thank you very much for hanging out with us. Carla Marie, go take a nap, feel better. And of course, if you have not listened to the morning show podcast for today, you can type in ! and the word podcast in the chat. You will get that link. I'm actually going to update that for tomorrow or for Thursday, and it'll give you every platform you can possibly listen to.
Yep. And if you missed Friday's show of the morning show podcast, it had Andy and Scotty B from Serial Killers playing 2-second tunes, and that was a riot. So
sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
So go listen.
We've had some phenomenal guests.
Yep.
And as much effort as we put into our part of the morning show podcast, and I think we do a pretty good job of structuring everything. It seems to be what people like. Our guests have really helped float the boat. I don't know if that's even a saying, but I'm going to put it out there. And thank you, Claire, for putting the You Look Great merch link in there. As Carla Marie said in the beginning of the show, in the beginning of the stream, we are putting in a You Look Great chapstick with every order. So go check that out.
Andre, Scary vs. Brody on the show coming up soon.
We're working on it. And by working on it, we haven't told them yet, but we talked about it amongst ourselves. Peace out.